Jane Wells Mitchell, and she's been coming every week up and telling us, persevering and showing what she can do. And I'm just incredibly. Uh, I'm stunned at how you are able to create something that looks like CNN out of your living room, Jane.
It helped that I worked there for 6 years. So I feel like I've been training my whole life to run a streaming network because for 38 years, I was in mainstream media working in different aspects as a reporter, as a host, as an anchor. And so I've been in so many big newsrooms and worked from CNN, CBS, Disney. I've experienced Core TV. I've experienced all of them. So that's good training for running a newsroom. And yes, for those who don't know, Unchained TV is the world's only free nonprofit streaming television network. All of our videos are available for free. And I'll be honest with you from the start, I do not take a salary. This is a nonprofit community enterprise. So we can't do it alone. So we need help. A lot of the people who are on the Zoom do help. I see Ray, I see Paige, I see other people who are very involved. But we need your help. We cannot do it alone. So watch my presentation. And if you like, become a monthly donor. For the price of a cup of coffee, which is what I'm holding in my hand right here, you can help save the planet. We have an incredible match from a very generous donor. So you can give $5 a month, $10 a month, $15 a month, $25 a month, $100 a month, as much as you want or as little as you want. But that's what keeps us going, because we do this on a shoestring. I want to tell you that other networks out there have spent literally billions of dollars. We created our streaming network, which is just like a Netflix, for under $50,000, and we run it on a shoestring. So you're looking at Unchained TV World Headquarters right here, which is my living room. And I want to give you a little overview of some of the things we've accomplished and then give you a tour of the network itself. So can you see this, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, very happy to say that we are currently featured in The Sun magazine, Britain's largest newspaper, with our new show. This story just came out last night. And the headline is Caitlyn Jenner to appear on Sun, Brandon and his wife Kaylee Stoker's new reality show as trio becomes really close. And you can see that it says below that, Brandon, 42, and Kaylee, 38, spoke exclusively with The Sun about their upcoming show that is available to stream on Unchained TV. And you can see on the top right, there are links to the 3 teaser episodes that are currently on Unchained TV. So that's a really amazing promo. We've really just been put on the map literally this week. So it's a very exciting time for us. I can also tell you that we are currently in Us magazine. Again, Brandon Jenner talks about his relationship, being a present father and issues with Caitlyn Jenner. But the bottom line for us is that it's talking about these first 3 episodes of At Home with the Jenners, which is our new plant-based cooking series starring Brandon Jenner and his wife, Kaylee Jenner, available to stream on Unchained TV, with 4 more episodes coming this summer. Us magazine actually did a second story. These are all up right now, and you can Google them, but take my word for it. I'm just doing screen grabs. And they do talk about the plant-based issue. Brandon says, this is Kaylee, I think it became important to me to kind of instill in our kids at a young age the importance of eating a more plant-based diet, getting away from animal products, and therefore supporting factory farming, Kaylee told us, noting that she's been plant-based for most of her adult life, and it's been kind of a fun journey. It's been challenging at times, but I feel inspired, and mostly we just try to have fun with it, keep it light. So these are incredible exposure for the plant-based lifestyle on these major magazines. This week, we're also in People magazine. As you can see, Kaylee and Brandon Jenner open up their Malibu home for a new cooking show. The upcoming Unchained TV series At Home with the Jenners. Now, we actually have 3 episodes on streaming right now, but we're going to be doing 4 more. This was actually a 6-page article, which is almost unheard of. So you're seeing that we are now in the major publications of the United States and England. That is no small feat. So I want to express my gratitude to the Jenners for, putting themselves out there, because they are passionate about a plant-based lifestyle. And he says in the videos that we have on Unchained TV and also in the interviews, I feel lighter, I feel better. He talks about how he went plant-based after seeing the documentary Forks Over Knives, which is also streaming on Unchained TV. So check out these 3 episodes on Unchained TV. They're a lot of fun. And what I like about them is they're not hard sell. It's really like attraction, not promotion, to the ultimate degree. They're very chill. They just make the food. You have fun making the food. They're not like plugging, you need to go vegan. And I think there's something to be said for that, to get people to, when you see them, they're in perfect shape, they are happy, they're good parents, you want to be like them. And that's a great way to, I think, attract people to the movement. So we're also, we've done other cooking series. New Day, New Chef won 2 Taste Awards. This is our 20-episode cooking series that has a lot of celebrities. In fact, Billie Eilish does a cameo. Her mother, Maggie Baird, with Support and Feed, does a whole series. There's 3 series. Within the series, there's 3 seasons. So Maggie Baird does a season. That's going to be on PBS stations around the country again this spring. It was already on once through Create. And then we also have the best of New Day, New Chef that is going to go on PBS stations. They love the cooking shows. That's their favorite. But we also did Pig Little Lies, our original reality TV series starring a family of pigs. We re-edited. That was on Unchained TV and still is. And we re-edited it into a single 50-minute movie that aired on many local PBS stations throughout the United States, exposing people to, again, not screaming go vegan, but you will fall in love with those pigs and you will form an emotional attachment to them. So hopefully that will make it harder to eat them. Unfortunately, the average American eats more than 68 pounds of pork pig a year. So we have our work cut out for us. So once again, what I'm talking about here is the world's only vegan animal rights streaming TV network in the world. And we keep adding more compelling content and developing new shows, which we give away all for free. Because let me just tell you, people don't want to pay for this content. One of the reasons we started it is we had New Day, New Chef on Amazon Prime, and it was going gangbusters while it was free with Prime. And then the second they started charging 99 cents an episode, kaboom, it went down. That's why we started it. And we're keeping it free. So this is not about making money. This is a nonprofit. It's about changing hearts and minds by getting this important content, documentaries, cooking shows, talk shows, and live news events to the general public. Now, we were the only news organization in the nation that covered the trial of Wayne Chung on a continual basis. He is the co-founder of Direct Action Everywhere and one of the leaders, if not the key leader of the open rescue movement, which says that if animals are sick and suffering and you can document violations of animal cruelty laws, that you have a legal right to go in there and rescue those animals from factory farms. He was put on trial in Sonoma County, a very long trial. And because the judge was so harsh, gagging him, he could not talk to the media. And then there were no cameras in the courtroom. Even the court sketch artist was deprived of sketching anybody but Wayne. Couldn't sketch witnesses. So basically it was like a private trial because it was very hard for the mainstream media. A pretty notable reporter even told me, well, this is almost impossible to cover. So we were the only ones who covered it. And in fact, we did more than 20 hours of live coverage from the pretrial to Wayne Chung walking out of jail. Unfortunately, he was convicted. He is appealing that conviction. But Wayne himself told me he got a lot of letters while he was in jail from people saying they were keeping up with his case watching Unchained TV. So that's a very important service. If a trial can occur in America, and our series on Unchained TV is entitled, Is This America? Because if a trial can occur in America where basically nobody's watching it, it's just absolutely, I'm actually speechless that this trial was conducted in the manner it was. Unbelievable. I mean, they were questioning defense witnesses about whether they were vegan. You know, it just absolutely shocking. We even had a member of the European Parliament join us to express his outrage. All right, but back to fun stuff. We just acquired Try and V with Mario, 22-episode cooking series featuring the charismatic host Mario Fabri. That's coming out in February. And we have a whole bunch of fun new shows. Deep of the Dietitian, we're actually turning that into Weight Loss Top Secrets. She's an award-winning dietitian who's going to give us, 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese. 39.1% of Americans are obese. This is a very big topic. We know all about the drugs that people are taking. And so I think this is going to bring some people in because people want to lose weight. Then we've got Tomorrow's Plate with up-and-coming food journalist Julieta Cardenas. In fact, just yesterday, we interviewed the head of Atlantic Fish Co. Basically, it's a cultivated fish company. He's absolutely brilliant. We just did an interview with the head of that company. And we also have Victoria Moran's Main Street Vegan Salon and just so many other shows. I would be here all day talking about all the possibilities. So that is what we're really doing, is creating a network. And I can tell you our views continue to go up. As you can see from this chart, we look at minutes viewed, because when you're talking about long form content, somebody can be on for 3 seconds and jump off, and that doesn't really count as anything because you're not talking about a 30-second video. You're talking about an hour-and-a-half video or an hour video. So the main streaming networks look at minutes viewed, and so do we. So we had 826,900 minutes of content viewed in the last 6 months. And you can see from the chart we're going up. And on Facebook, we had 234,000 minutes. So if you add those two up, in the last 6 months, we had more than 1 million minutes of Unchained TV videos viewed. So some people have said to me, oh, well, you're just talking other. No, we're not. We're aiming for mainstream audience to get this information out. Streaming is the #1 way people are watching TV. It's overtaken broadcasting cable. And the #1 search term is free. They want free. And we're also very active on social media. Since May, we had almost 8 million total views. And I'm going to zip through some of these, but you can see from the screen grabs that we're getting a lot of views on some of our content. And this is our Instagram metrics. We collaborated with Vegan Community, as well as popular vegan accounts like Gen V, Vegan FTA, Animal Save Movement, etc. So Instagram, again, a lot of impressions. I want to jump over to TikTok. We're committed to doing more than 20 hours a month on TikTok, which is no small feat. And we need other people to do it too, to get on TikTok and do cooking shows on TikTok, just like we used to do on Facebook Live. We want to have 20 hours a week. We have Anthony Shale does a great job covering a lot of events. He just goes live on TikTok. And we need some more volunteers who are willing to commit to going live on TikTok. Basically, if you make your lunch, you could just put a camera on yourself and go live on TikTok. So in the last 6 months, we had, July through December, we had more than 500,000 views on TikTok Live. And one of our key persons there is Lindsay Baker. She goes live all the time, and she's done a really bang-up job. So if you include Lindsay's, our total grand view is 758,000 views on TikTok. Again, we count views on the short form, the social media. And additionally, we continue to produce 2 in-depth written articles per week, which do appear on Google News. That wasn't the case always, but in the last few months, the last 6 months, we are now, you can see the screen grabs to the right of your screen. We're now on Google News. So that's great. And that's resulted in more than 2 million impressions from July through December. So I just want to basically say, if you think this is good, okay, because our story is not being told by the mainstream media, we really need you to join the team and become a monthly donor. And it's a lot of fun. You can just go to unchainedtv.com/donate. unchainedtv.com/donate. We have a very generous match. If you become a $5 monthly donor, there's a $50 match. $10 monthly donor gives us a $100 match, and a $25 monthly donor gives us a $200. You get the idea. So it really is. We've got about 80 monthly donors right now. We're really trying to get to 100. And again, for the price of a cup of coffee, you can be part of not just document. And thank you, Dr. Rao, for saying we're documenting the animal rights movement, which we are. I mean, for example, just this week, we were hi, Paige. Paige was there as well at this past week, a week ago, at the UCLA Veg Fest, which is very important. They're creating that as a template. In fact, I was editing it last night. We're going to be putting it up on Unchained TV soon. They want to use that as a template to have universities and even high schools all around the United States and even the world start having their own Veg Fests on campus. Nobody covered that. 99% of the things we go to, nobody covers except us. And it's not just the trials. I mean, that's the most egregious example. But a lot of these other things that would be great feature stories, very visual, nobody's covering them because advertiser-based media is run by the advertisers who pay the bills and keep the lights on. And that's primarily meat, dairy, and pharmaceuticals. So that's your answer there as to why these stories aren't getting covered. So I want to just quickly, I want to leave time for some questions and back and forth, but I do want to give you a little ride around tour of our streaming network. So now, can you see this? At Home with the Jenners?
No.
Okay, then let me do this again. Sometimes when you go out, you have to go back. And yes, now we can show. Now you can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the videos that we play as well. So we have those, we have the 3 episodes of At Home with the Jenners right on our homepage. I urge you all to watch it. It's super fun. And we can even just give you a little bit of a taste right now.
I get high on your good vibrations, on your good vibrations, so naturally. See, I get high on your good vibrations, honey, your vibrations, they keep me high for free.
Yeah, so they explain, and Eamon McChrystal did such a great job. This takes them into their Malibu home. It's a beautiful property. They also have a whole bunch of companion animals, chickens, a tortoise, dog. It's really just a charming series. And like I said,
welcome to our home.
Yeah.
This is an exciting thing for us to get to do. We have 3 young kids, and it's a very important thing for us to feed them well and to instill in them really good, healthy eating habits.
You're in charge of that, really. You do it beautifully.
I try.
And I'm just here as support. Yeah. And I eat everything you make.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
So thank you for coming into our home, and we're happy to have you here. We'd love to show you some of the things we like to do.
and I just want to say again, you know, it's very hard for celebrities to allow people into their homes. And I just give them a lot of kudos for having the courage to do that, because you really have to open yourself up. The news coverage, they ask questions, you know, that go way beyond plant-based diet, but they feel very strongly about encouraging a plant-based diet. So that's something I just feel is very cool on their part. And I am going to now go back and show you a little bit more of what's happening. We do constant interviews. In fact, we just finished an interview here. Lindsay Baker did an interview as part of her weekly show. I just finished talking to Dr. Melanie Joy, who is absolutely brilliant, and talked.
Here's your host, Jane Velez Mitchell.
We are so excited and honored to have Dr. Melanie Joy on Unchained TV, the famed social psychologist and best-selling author, talking about that new book, How to End Injustice Everywhere. Let's do it. Dr. Joy is an internationally recognized speaker who wows her audiences and has written many other books, including my fave, Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Wear Cows, which was a huge bestseller. She's got so many other books under her vegan belt, but today we are talking about her very latest. I love this book, Dr. Joy, How to End Injustice Everywhere. I think it's something we all strive for. You said you wrote this book in order to give people who are trying to end injustice everywhere the information and the tools they need to be more effective. So, for example, how does your book help animal activists become more effective?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you, Jane, and thank you for that incredibly warm welcome as always. And I love talking to you, and I'm so happy to be here. So, yeah, I wrote the book for several reasons. So one, I wanted to shed light on the common structure of all unjust systems, as well as the common mentality, most importantly, that drives these unjust.
I just want to say,
and knowing the
got
tools of
into
how
a
to work to
conversation
shift it
that
can
we
make
got
a
so many
tremendous
calls
difference,
that people
not
couldn't
only
get
in
through.
Maybe
I wasn't sure whether we were going to get any
recommending
calls.
nonviolent communication courses to me. Do you have any thoughts on that? Or
So many people had questions about what she was talking about, which was essentially infighting, which is a big problem in our movement. And actually, I learned a lot. She's a very brilliant person, and she's basically talking about how we relate to other people, and interpersonal relationships are so important. And, while you're fighting for injustice, we have to make sure that we're not trampling over other people. So it was a very, very, I thought, fascinating conversation. And we got so many calls, literally, that the phone lines went busy because people were struggling to get through. And I was wondering whether we were going to get any calls, because I always wonder if we're going to get any calls, and we always get calls. But I can show you a few other, quick samples. I'm literally picking these sort of at random to give you just a sort of a sense of what we've got going to show people.
Hey guys, welcome to the Wicked Kitchen. Super special episode today. I'm going to show you 3 mind-bending mushroom cooking techniques with 3 amazing mushrooms. We're going to make sweet chili maitake steaks. We're going to make a riff off of a great chef that I know named Andy Ricker. He used to own a restaurant called Pok Pok. I'm taking one of his inspired recipes and turning a lion's mane into the super herbaceous, flavorful steak that is going to blow your mind. And then also the Asian inspired barbecue brown oyster mushroom, you guys. You're not going to want to miss this. 3 amazing mushroom recipes coming your way.
And we've got tons of cooking shows like that. And again, we're adding more. We're also going into other languages. We have a lot of fun. Listen, we could be here all day watching some fun videos. Some of my favorites are the lingerie protests that we've done so many of. And we'll just show you a few of those.
Unfortunately, the media and the news seldom report on this topic.
In the dairy industry, the male calves are murdered.
It's not like we want to do these things. We feel that we have to.
We need to do whatever it takes to help wake people up, to make the unconscious conscious.
The future of our planet is at stake. And if I gotta go out there naked, I'll do that.
So those are some of the fun.
Working in the modeling.
Like I said, we could be here all day looking at all this fascinating content. I'm just going to give you an overview of, we have all these documentaries, many of them, Eating Our Way to Extinction, Forks Over Knives, The Invisible Vegan, as well as Pig Little Eyes, the movie, which I told you about, Hero Dogs. We premiered Ending Real Fur. He gave us his movie to premiere, which was great. And we did a whole bunch. We did a lingerie protest. We had a billboard. It was very, very exciting. Punk rock vegan movie, of course, Earthlings, Hogwood, Dairy Disclosed. So, it would be very hard to just get people to watch this like, hey, you watch Earthlings. I wish I could strap everybody on the planet to a chair and make them watch Earthlings. But the idea is to get them in the tent. They're watching something fun, maybe the lingerie protest, maybe a cooking episode, and then they poke around and they stumble upon one of these documentaries. and then they go vegan. In fact, I ran into a woman just 2 weeks ago at the anti-Starbucks, the anti-upcharge at Starbucks protest, and she told me, I went vegan because I watched a video on Unchained TV, and that's music to my ears. When I hear that, I am so terribly excited. Again, we partner with organizations like.
My name is Emma.
This is
and I'm a member
of parliament, and she is leading the campaign to get it.
My name is Emma Hurst, and I'm a member of parliament for the Animal Justice Party in Sydney, Australia.
How did the Animal Justice Party get started?
This party started because we realised that there was no other political party that was really representing animals in parliament. And it became really clear when the Environmental Party that is already elected failed to support kangaroos. They were actually supporting legislation to shoot our kangaroos. People became really angry, really furious, and realised there's just no voice for animals on that legal political scale. And that was where the Animal Justice Party was formed. The first time we ran an election, we had somebody elected. And the second time we ran in New South Wales, I got elected.
Wow, we are so honored and delighted. So we had that original story, and then we did an interview with them about an ongoing campaign to get Adidas to stop killing kangaroos for shoes. By the way, I just saw that Dolly Vias Ahuja is on, one of my heroes who has her documentary, so I would never want to leave that out. So let's go and show Dolly's incredible documentary, Land of Ahimsa, right there. A must-watch film about, unfortunately, the abuse of animals, cows in India, and solutions to that. So check it out for sure. A very important film. One of the things that I want to say, by the way, Countdown to Year Zero was one of our original documentaries. It's won many awards as well. So has Land of Ahimsa, but this is about Dr. Sailesh Rao. So if you're curious about Dr. Sailesh Rao and his predictions and want to dive deep into that, you can watch Countdown to Year Zero. One of the things that I want to mention is that this app, let's talk about availability. I'm just going to keep scrolling down. When Earthstream went out of business, they very graciously facilitated us getting a whole bunch, like literally hundreds of videos. So we also have nature videos, because this is actually Sangeeta Iyer's series, which she gave us independently, but let's say the Orangutan Foundation. These are a lot of people who are into nature, but who may not make the connection between eating animals and the destruction of nature. We can get them in the tent that way. Through nature documentaries. So just so we finish this little tour, it goes on forever. We have almost 2,000 videos. We have travel videos, which are fantastic. And we collaborated with the International Vegan Film Festival to get some of their top entries. We've got mini docs, and we've got music videos as well. So we're also trying to start a Spanish language category, and we just got a few videos right now, but I'm actually meeting next week with a woman that I met. I don't know, Paige, did you introduce me to her? She's a dynamic woman from Argentina who is a vegan and wants to do a show for Unchained TV. And she has her own TV show, but it's not about veganism. So we're going to meet next week and see if we can come up with something. So there you have it. And I guess I'll stop the share now and explain that. Where can you get Unchained TV? Well, I have a Samsung TV behind me, and you can see that there are all the shows that you were just looking at. So every Samsung Smart TV carries Unchained TV. Now, you can also get Unchained TV on your Amazon Fire Stick or your Roku device or your Apple TV device. So I have Amazon Fire Stick in my bedroom, and I have Roku somewhere else, so I can check all of them to make sure there's no glitches with any of them. It's not that difficult. You have the device, the app, like here's the Apple TV device. I'll get it real quick and show you. And you can just get that device and you hook something behind your TV, and voila, mean, it's a great thing to have. This is the future of TV. Absolutely. Broadcast and cable are literally collapsing. I think crazy politics is the only thing that's keeping it going right now, like a train wreck that everybody has to watch. But the trend is definitely towards streaming. So we feel like we're on the ground floor, because as people get more and more acclimated to these devices, we're really there for people to enjoy. You can also watch it online, which is what I did. I just went to unchainedtv.com and showed you online. And what's really fun is it's also on your phone. You can download it on any phone. You just go to your app store. And again, it's free. You put in Unchained TV, one word, and it pops up. I would suggest that you subscribe so you can get notifications when we do live stories. But the great thing about this is online, you can email somebody any video, and you can also text them the video. So how many of you know environmentalists who are not vegan? Right? Environmentalists in quotes who are not vegan. So you could have some nasty argument with them and lose all your friends. Or how about you just text them eating our way to extinction and say, hey, you know, I came upon this really great documentary. I thought you might like to see it. It's non-aggressive. It's not, they can't turn around and say, how dare you? And yet they can watch that and then they can get the point. So I feel like in our movement, we waste a lot of time and energy talking to people, like those people who have never gone vegan. We've known them for 40 years. And instead of doing all that, maybe we could all start texting people a lot of these videos. Like people who say to me, and I hear this all the time, well, I could never give up cheese. You know, then you could text them The Cheese Trap, that documentary. There's a million things. It's actually a book, and I think it's an interview about a book, but whatever, you can text them that. So there's a million things. I see somebody walking down the stairs. Don't trip, okay? Be careful. I know you're running down there to go buy an Apple TV device so you can get Unchained TV, but still. Anyway, what I'm saying is this isn't something that you can just have passively. It's a tool for your activism. I want to say couple of things. And I've just spoken for about a half an hour, so I'll take questions. Anybody who becomes a monthly donor gets this fabulous Unchained TV plant-based media hat. You're on the team, and it's super fun. We are going to do a Zoom where we're going to do something like this, but more in depth for all of our monthly donors. So if you become a monthly donor, you'll get invited to that. It's coming up in February. And just to round it out is, yes, it's not a passive thing. This is a tool for people to use to get the word out. And there's 8 billion people on the planet. Let's stop wasting so much time talking one-on-one to those people who haven't changed. And, you know, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. Let's spend that time, either volunteer to become one of our weekly TikTokers making food on TikTok. We really need those people. And become a monthly donor. And then also send these videos out. Send these videos out to people. You could be sitting there at the dentist waiting for them to call you in, and you could send it out to 10 people. Okay, so it's really a powerful tool, but we've really all got to use it too. I think I've said everything that I want to say for the time being, which is shocking because I'm never done talking. But let's take some questions.
Well, thank you as always, Jane.
Before I forget, this Wednesday, I'm going to be interviewing an amazing guy, Dr. Sailesh Rao, who won the Oxford Union debate. They debated veganism or non-veganism, and he and his team won the debate. We're going to be talking about that. So join us every Wednesday at noon. That's another thing you can do. You can become a call-in person. You saw with Dr. Melanie Joy. I didn't know. I thought, well, books, it might be dry. Maybe we were flooded with calls, but you never know. Sometimes we get like 2 calls. Sometimes we get 25. So you can call in every Wednesday at noon. You can watch it on Unchained TV and call in. Sarah Siegel's one of our big callers, and we always appreciate her. Sorry, go ahead, Dr. Rao.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the coverage of the trials, which the Vengeance trial that you did, and how you were able to get live coverage of the trials as it was going. It was a lot of work, I noticed. And I used to watch it regularly. Yeah.
It was a lot of work. And by the way, his next trial in Wisconsin is coming up. I don't have the exact date, but we're going to be covering it from beginning to end. Let me just see. I wrote it down. March 18th. March 18th, Wayne Shung's Beagle trial in Wisconsin is coming up. We're going to cover it. Well, one of the reasons we're able to cover it is, see, I did trial coverage and crime coverage for like 20 some years. After I was like a news anchor, maybe 15 years, I then became basically a host, and I did trial coverage. So I did trial coverage at Court TV. I did trial coverage at CNN, Headline News. And there's a format. You get a bunch of experts. We always try to have one lawyer on, at least one lawyer. And then we have some activists. And then we have a reporter at the scene. And with the technology today, the reporters use their phone. And we have a great reporter, Carla Cabral, who does an incredible job. I told her, I said, you're going to get snapped up by NBC or CBS. People either have it or they don't sometimes when it comes to reporting. You got to think on your feet. You've got to be doing three things at once, making sure the phone, making sure you've got the audio, the good signal. And we've had others. Mariam Kamali did a great job. And some of the people watching have been panelists. Paige has been a panelist, and I can't see everybody who's here, but we bring in various activists to give their viewpoint. As I mentioned, we had a member of the European Parliament. Dr. Rao, we'd love to have you be a panelist. We kind of rotate around so it doesn't look like the exact same group of people every time. We've had Renee King Sonnen, who is great, a former cattle rancher turned vegan sanctuary owner. I mean, she can give us the other side because she used to be on the other side and explain what the thinking might be. By the way, the prosecutors were apparently watching our coverage because they made reference to things that were said during our panel discussions in court. So I think that was quite the compliment, I must say. And we always invite them on. I always invite the other side on. If they wanted to, we'd love to dialogue with them. So yeah, it's difficult, but it starts out with getting the panel and then making sure you have somebody there at court. And then they interview the people who are coming in and out of the courthouse.
Right. Yeah. Great job. I mean, it was riveting, actually. Some of the conversations you were having. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the Beagle trial because I think that's going to tug at people's heartstrings, what's happening to the Beagles.
Well, dogs are a gateway drug to animal rights. So we actually started a dog training series. And the first one is on the air. But the reason is, where's my little Beagle mischief muffin? I have two rescues. You know them, Dr. Rao.
Right.
Some people,
Sunday and Wednesday.
They need training, but they need compassionate training. Now, here's one of the things I learned regarding this issue is that there's this whole dominance theory of dog training now, and shock collars are on the rise. And of course, Mariam Kamali, who is the dog trainer I'm using, is a compassionate vegan, and she talks about learning your dog's language, and it's a completely different approach. So I thought, well, while I'm taking the course with her, I'm going to do a video because that is, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, the dog industry. People are obsessed with their dogs, and they don't make the connection that the cows and the pigs and the chickens and the turkeys and the goats and the lambs are just like their dogs. So weight loss is one big thing, ticket entry, and another one is dogs. So we are going to, I could show you the series, but take my word for it. We're doing a dog training series.
Awesome. Watch, thank you for waiting.
Oh, thanks, Dr. Rao, and great work, Jane. Always admire your work. Hey, what do you think about this idea? Have your intro clips available for your various shows, make them available for people to put them on their channel, like on their Instagram channel or they're on their YouTube. It's an intro. It's not a full clip. It's just a trailer, and so that people have contents for their channel. And the reason why I say is that because Dr. Rao made his clip for his cow in the room, and that was shared not only in several of the people I knew on their channels, but also worldwide. It was shared out on various devices, various channels, like on WhatsApp. It was shared, I don't know how many gazillion times. So I think I mentioned this to you multiple times. So
Well,
do look into that.
I would be happy to look into it. And I appreciate your suggestion. But what I would love is if somebody has a good idea to participate in doing it. Because like I say, everybody's an assignment editor. I wake up every morning and I get, do this, do that, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I go, that's great. But I said, if you just give me an idea and then walk away, that's called an anxiety transfer. Okay. I need people to get involved and help because this is a nonprofit and we run on a very small budget. We have a social media director who's working around the clock because it's Instagram, it's YouTube, it's TikTok, it's Threads, it's X, it's this, it's that. It's a lot. I love your idea. Would you be willing to collaborate and maybe?
I have called several times on your show.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. You've called and I appreciate it. I guess what I'm saying is you do call a lot. I like that. Thank you. Maybe we can dialogue about this offline or on a phone call so that you can, it's more than just a handoff. It's something where we could maybe collaborate to make it happen. You could create a template or something where we could say, okay, this is what we do, so I love the idea. Let's talk about it. That's what I mean.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Watch. Sarah?
Sarah.
Hi, my question for Jane is, now that the Miami Seaquarium is not going to be having their lease renewed and that Lolita had already died, there's dolphins that have already been sold to Japan for their aquariums, and a lot of people don't know. Do you think that you're going to have some type of a coverage, since Susan Hargraves is down there, possibly about what's going on with Seaquarium and so to keep the public eye on it is really the question, because it's not just the end of a lease. It's what are you going to do with the animals that are there?
Yes. And I want to say that obviously PETA has done an incredible job staying on top of that story. We would certainly be happy to do that. One of the challenges of our movement is that there's so much animal abuse happening everywhere. Literally, your head could spin 360 constantly all day. And it's sad, but it's true. Just yesterday, I got a call from somebody who said, do something in a small town in Georgia. They're trying to build a laboratory monkey breeding facility. Now, it turns out that I fought with PETA to stop a laboratory monkey breeding facility in Puerto Rico quite a few years ago. I think it was 2009. I discovered it when I was in Puerto Rico for the Hispanic Journalist Convention, and people came up to me, some lawyers from the Animal Rights Subcommittee of the Puerto Rican Bar, and they said they're building this facility in Guayamo, which is a small town in Puerto Rico, and they've already built it, and we can't stop it. I said, well, don't say that you can't stop it until we've tried. So I left the convention, we went and talked to some animal-loving legislators, and PETA got involved, and they took it all the way to the Puerto Rican Supreme Court, and they did not allow the facility to open. I also went to Israel with Addie Gill when he purchased the last 1,250 monkeys that were set to be shipped out for laboratory experimentation when the Israeli government started to ban the export of wild-caught monkeys for experimentation. And we did a whole series on that. And while I was there, I talked to a reporter from the largest paper in Israel who said, well, watch out. They're just trying to open in Hendry County, Florida. And Hendry County, Florida has a monkey breeding facility. So it turns out that Fort Myers, Florida was my first job as a reporter. And I knew a couple of people down there, and I ended up, again, PETA is the big hero in all this. I was kind of, involved, but PETA's the huge hero. We ended up going down to Fort Myers, Florida, and sure enough, they were trying to basically open this facility. He even showed me shipping records where some of the equipment was going to be moved from Israel to Hendry County. And we had these huge protests, and I'll never forget this. This is a funny moment because the activists down there were really mostly old ladies in tennis shoes. They were animal lovers. But so one of the county commissioners came out and was talking to the media. These are radical animal rights activists and blah, blah, blah. And then these about 25 ladies who were about 75, 80 years old, literally one's wearing a plastic orange in her head, with a cap. And they're like, well, we're the radical animal rights activists who are doing all this. And it became a big story. It was crazy. So I'll just tell you, it's probably too much information, but then this went on for a long time. They had an event in Fort Myers where all the counties presented their business plans for the year. And we got a table and we were seated there. And there was this one girl who said, I'm tired of this. I don't want to be here, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, just sit in your seat. You're here. And Hendry County started showing their business plans for the year because each one made a presentation. There was a congressman there. It was a big deal. And the girl who said she didn't want to be here, in the middle of it, got incensed that they had failed to mention the laboratory monkey breeding facility that they were trying to open. She rushed onto the stage, disrupted the entire event, and said, you're lying, you're going to be putting a monkey breeding facility, and started screaming and yelling. All hell broke loose, seriously. And it was such an embarrassment. The monkey breeding facility went away. And in fact, the person who was the big proponent of it moved. And I showed up with one of these older senior citizens, a wonderful activist named Madeline Duran. I just spoke to her about a week ago. And the two of us drove up to his house, and he had literally cleared out his house and disappeared, leaving the doors open. It was like this was a movie. This whole thing was a movie. Well, they never stop. They never stop. So these animal exploiters are back at it again. Now they're trying to do it in a little town in Georgia. Notice how they always pick a little town. First, it was Guayama in Puerto Rico. Then it was Hendry County, Florida, some little area. Now they're going to a small town in Georgia. So we definitely have to get on that because this is a large number of monkeys. Thank God PETA knows about it. They broke the story. We have to do something about it. And on my to-do list this week is to reach out to PETA to talk to them about it. But we'll also talk about what's happening with the animals at that nightmare. Thank you, Sarah. Go ahead,
BJ.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jane. I just want to give you a big hug. I'm so moved by the work that you do. And then I can't even help but be moved by dogs, even though I'm love all species. When I hear about dogs, I can't help but feel like crying if they're hurting. And this morning I heard a podcast from Dog Research Exposed, and these people were in a van with a dog research, anti-research, out in the country where you couldn't see anybody else, and they were having trouble getting Wi-Fi. And they said they couldn't even find the address until they asked PETA. So they're trying to expose it. And I think you're the venue for helping people find out about that. So I don't know if there's a way we can send information to you, because you, like you said, I don't want to add more for you to do.
Well, let me say something. Okay. We have to be realistic. want to get put out of business by a lawsuit or anything. So we very clear that we're not investigative journalists, because people love to say they're investigative journalists. It's a totally different field. Okay. It's like somebody who's a general practitioner is a brain surgeon. That's how different it is. And these undercover investigations take months, sometimes even years. So we don't have the bandwidth to do that. And we can either do what we do well or try to do everything badly. So what we do generally is wait till there's a story out. So PETA has something like 19 lawyers. When they say something, they know what they're talking about. And so they're a very good source. So we can't do the undercover investigations, but what we can do is talk to the organizations that are doing those undercover investigations, especially after there's been some news media coverage. It always helps if there's some story out there, because it's tricky when you try to break stories. You can even be a tiny little bit wrong and it can come back to bite you. So it's always better to err on the side of caution so that you don't get sidetracked by some, lawsuit or something.
Great. Thank you so much, Jane.
Yeah, thank you, Vijay. It's interesting you mentioned that lawsuit, because we just screened a documentary called McLibel.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. These are just two people who got sued by McDonald's.
Wow.
Who didn't back down, and we took them to court and basically went all the way to the European court from London.
Maybe we can run that on Unchained TV.
Oh yeah, I'll connect you with the producer.
Oh, great. I'd love to run that. That would be great.
Yeah, it's a David and Goliath story. And
I'm sure. Wow. Yeah, that would be a great one to run on Unchained TV. I'd love that. That would be fantastic. And, anybody who knows of documentaries that are, a lot of times there are documentaries that have been on a Netflix, but years ago, like Vegucated. And so I just called Marissa Wolfson up, who made Vegucated. It's a great documentary. And I said, would you mind if we stream it? And she's like, no, great. Because it had these, just like a theatrical run, these, even the most successful movies don't stay up there generally forever. So there's a lot of good documentaries out there that have had their moment in the sun that could be repurposed for Unchained TV.
Absolutely. I'll connect you with the producer.
Thank you.
Lanny Armstrong. Yeah.
Great.
And I think you would love interviewing David Morris, who was one of the, and Helen Steele. They were the ones who were being sued by McDonald's.
Wow.
Because it is so appropriate for what is happening to Wayne Chung. Because I thought of that when I saw what was happening to Wayne Chung, and I said, let's see if we can show that and get a discussion around it.
Yeah. And please join our trial coverage March 18th. We're going to be reporting from there, from Wisconsin.
Yeah. It's not just Wayne, right? I think there are two others who are getting so is it Paul Picklesheimer again?
Honestly, I haven't started diving into that one yet. I'm still recovering from the last one.
Right.
But I don't try to memorize things too long before I need them, because then I'll forget them. And so then I have to read it twice.
So other than downloading it and promoting it by sending videos to our friends and joining you as monthly donors, which I've done.
And thank you, Dr. Rao. You're a monthly donor, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
What else can people do to support you?
Well, like I said, we have to do 20 hours a month on TikTok. We work with this company and so that's really hard. Anthony Shale does a lot of lives at different events around, like the UCLA Veg Fest and other places like that something's happening. Climate Healers he's done, but we all make lunch. Let's face it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't go out to lunch every day. And so if we could get people to volunteer, we give you the TikTok password and you go, even if you did two times a month, we can break it up. I had a very complicated schedule of like 10, 15 people, and that's impossible. We've got to get some regulars. that do it regularly, because that was a scheduling nightmare. It worked for 1 month and it was too convoluted. We just need people who are willing to say, okay, one day a week, 1 out of 7 days, I'm going to put you just put your phone on a little selfie stick, which we will send you. They cost like $15. And you just say, here's what I'm making. I'm making a salad. And actually, it's kind of fun. You interact with people. Hey, Charlie, thanks for joining us, and you answer questions. It's actually kind of fun, but it needs to be more than an hour, like an hour and 15 minutes. It zips by. So anybody who wants to do that, it's a commitment, but it's really important. And, you are truly reaching a mainstream audience. There is no, people are watching from all around the world, and just, it's shocking when you stumble upon another vegan, because it's truly a mainstream audience. So it's I think, a very important service. And we do try to encourage people to download the Unchained TV streaming network. That's one thing we do repeat over and over during the TikToks. Because look, we don't have a multi-million-dollar advertising budget, okay? We want to get people to download Unchained TV. We have to let them know. And that's one way we let them know. So it's very good activism. Yeah, so, and it's fun. It's fun. I mean, I'm wearing a lot of different hats. I'm editing, I'm shooting, I'm uploading videos, I'm describing videos. Like on my to-do list, I have 22 videos to upload this weekend of trying vegan with Mario, and they all have to be described, and then you have to put the tags, and each one takes maybe 20 minutes. So if I'm moving fast, it takes 20 minutes. So I can't do the hour a week. I just need other people to pick that up. That would be really, and again, it's actually fun. Like, I did do it that first month, and I had a good time doing it. It's not like you have to put on makeup or anything. It's actually, the less prepared you are, the better, because they want authenticity. They don't want somebody putting on a show. It's just like, here, I'm making lunch. Here's what I'm making, and blah, 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 blah. And it's actually really good activism, because it shows veganism in action. Not everybody can be a chef like Wicked Kitchen, or, people want to know what you're going to make for lunch.
Right.
Or dinner. Or breakfast.
Yeah. Ray is asking, can you bring back Lunch Break Live?
No, because one of the reasons that we started the streaming network is when we first started the Lunch Break Live on Facebook, one year we got 17 million views, like I think it was 2017. But the algorithms have changed, and they do not send it out to that many people. So to do a whole Lunch Break Live on Facebook so that 200 people can watch it, or 150 people, it doesn't make any sense. It's better. You can usually get maybe 2,000 people on an hour Instagram. That's what, hour TikTok. Depending on how you do it. If you're really good at it and you're really good at engaging with people, you could get 4,000, or you could get 500 if you're just phoning it in. But either way, it's better. It's a better option right now, given how everything's changed. I think with social media, you have to pivot. You notice how every time you go on social media, it's a little bit different. Well, we have to then adjust as well.
Right. Yeah. They want to keep
those people who used to do Lunch Break Live on Facebook, contact me. You can just do it on TikTok.
Yeah, you have a large roster there. A lot of people came, right, on Lunch Break Live.
A lot. And the thing that we get the most is people contacting me, take that video down, because they cooked with their boyfriend or girlfriend at the time, and then they broke up, and then they want the video to be removed.
Okay. And again, personal, interpersonal issues.
Yes, interpersonal issues. I always chuckle at that. But yes, again, if you become a monthly donor and all you have to do is go to unchainedtv.com/donate, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you can be per month, you can be part of the Unchained TV team. And it's fun. And you get a hat right here. These are our latest Unchained TV hats. So anybody who's becomes a monthly donor, I'll put it in the chat. Yeah, because we're really intent on getting up to at least 100 monthly donors. So I'm going to do it here. Unchained TV. In fact, I'll copy it with the link so that everybody has it exactly as they need to have it. Unchainedtv.com and donate. There we go. I'll put it right in the chat. And I want to thank everybody for watching, and yeah, check out all those articles on all those big publications that we're in right now. There you go. You can just click on that link. That wait, why did I just send it to Sarah? I've got to send it to everybody. Sorry, Sarah. Yeah, here, I'm going to send it to everybody. There it is, unchainedtv.com/donate. And yes, it would be great to have you all be part of the team.
Absolutely. So I have a hat from Unchained TV. So I know that.
Oh, yes. We got one with your name on it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Jane, as always. And
thank you.
We'll see you again in a couple of hours, I think, right?
See you at 4 o'clock. Yes.
Right.